Alright, I don't really have any script for this video. I'm just gonna kind of spitball and see what comes to mind about this character, but this is just like a week 1 review of Super Baby so far, where I'm just giving my thoughts. Is he a good character? Is he a great character? Is he a garbage character? I'm gonna get into that. But basically, the first thing I notice when I look at this character is his neutral is really, really strong. So the reason I think it's good, right? He has a lot of these key blast moves, really good for controlling different areas of the screen. He has a beam, he has shit like this, he has the acid rains, all of these different moves that he can use to control areas of the screen. And especially these move, not those, these move really, really fast. A lot of these key blast moves just move really, really fast. And the fact that they also come back if they miss is a really, really interesting thing, because it constantly means that even if he misses one, you are gonna have to watch your back and constantly be on the defensive waiting for one of those to happen. Kind of like how Ginyu, when one of his summons comes out, you have to keep track of Ginyu, and you also have to keep track of the force member that comes out. So that is really strong to me. He also has stuff like these, which, even though I don't really think these are going to be as useful as the Ki Blasts, they're, like something like this that you have to watch out for from a decent bit away is going to be interesting, especially the EX is really, really fast. So having to watch for this every so often is going to be a real pain in the ass. He has the, assist steals, obviously, so if your character that you killed, for example, has, let's say a good neutral assist, you can call that out. If he does, even if he doesn't have any assists up, let's pretend these guys don't exist real quick. He can constantly have something to help him out, and especially the EX bar one, because the EX one is a C assist. Constantly having the ability to call C assists, and also the fact that they actually don't have the C assist cooldown, you can just keep spamming them one after another. The fact that he can always have a C assist without any cooldown, as long as you kill a character, is really, really mind-blowing to me. That shit is really good for neutral. And then, aside from all that kind of stuff, if someone super dashes, because obviously Ki Blasts are weak to super dash, not only does he have, for example, decently damaging 2H routes, he also has the air DP. So if people try and super dash at you, let's say you're in the air shooting some of these, you can basically always do this and pretty effectively and easily just call them out for it, and you won't get punished. So the fact that he has all these different ways to prevent you from moving, which I think really that's what defines good neutral in this game, is preventing people from moving very well, and as well as stopping them from approaching you, is really, really good. He also has pretty decent damage and meter build combos like the loops that you've seen before, which I'm showing off right now. And they're really not even very strict to time. Like, obviously, I got 2 bars, I got 49%. It's decent damage. Just by myself, no limit break, no assists, got a sliding knockdown. I can probably get some kind of fucked up Oki set up with these Ki Blasts. It's pretty good. Like this, like for having all that by yourself, that's not that bad. Now, obviously, Baby has the weakness of not having very strong high-low mix-up, because he has this slow 11 frame low, right? This move right here. This was obviously intentional. They really did not want him to have a high-low mix-up. They even gave him moves like Vegeta has, so he can get like left-right mix-ups. So, for example, you do something like this. Something like that. Even this is not really that much of an issue, because by himself he seems to have some weird, nice solo mix-up options. So, for example, he has this good cross-up, which is really long button, and he'll hit a lot of people, even like crouching short characters a majority of the time. And it's also pretty fast, so you can catch a lot of people with this. You can also fake out the cross-up using stuff like that, which I think is really good. The fact that he has something like this so that he can fake out his cross-ups. People who have really crackhead reaction times and can react to these really consistently, which is like a lot of the pro players, a lot of the top level players of this game will basically instantly react to this jump that you would do after this air dash and maybe either 2H you or something like that. But then Super Baby has some decent options to mix it up and do stuff like that, or do stuff like this, for example, which I think in the solo mix department this is actually really good. He also has these setups I've seen where his level 3 sort of, you use a Ki Blast to make them come back, and the level 3 will like take them out of the corner, right? Yeah, I can't really get it, but like he has certain things like that that mean he's not really lacking in sort of like left-right mix-up department, which is good, so that means he has some sort of way to open people up. And another thing I think is interesting is I think his pressure is going to be really good, namely this move on block right here. I think this 6S is going to be really useful for stuff on block, especially in the corner, because, for example, you can do something like this on block in the corner, and a lot of times people will not be able to deal with that. So let's say, for example, you're blocking Super Baby in the corner, and you see this come out, right? So normally when you see a Ki Blast on block, you either want to reflect or super dash, right? So if you reflect, he can probably punish you. And Super Baby, when he gets a medium, you already know he kind of does a lot of damage, as I showed up before. But also, let's say you want a super dash, right? He 2Hs. He has his solid 2H route damage, and you're gonna be in a world of hurt. So then when you're conditioned, you know, maybe I shouldn't do any of that. Maybe I should just wait for him to make a mistake. Or like mash or something like that. Let's say you tried to mash. Well, this is a true block string. And it's really good spacing. So let's say, for instance, now that you just respect this and try to wait for your turn. Well, now that Ki Blast is going to hit you from behind. So he kind of just has this constant threat looming over your head of this Ki Blast that's going to hit you from behind. And I kind of think it could help do mix-ups like that I'm just trying to show right now. But anyway, so this kind of constant looming pressure seems like really interesting to me, especially when you consider the fact that he has a lot of moves that just completely prevent you from dealing with it, right? If you try super dash, he has stuff like this. If you try to mash, you know, I could use this as the frame trap version, and also that's slightly slower, so now I have variable times in which this ball comes back, which means now that cross-up is more ambiguous. I think his pressure is going to be really, really interesting, especially stuff like that. So let's say I'm doing this. Like, even though his low is not very fast, that is going to catch a lot of people, combined with the Ki Blast explosion and like all these different things you have to worry about. So that seems like one of the things that he's going to be known for, right? Is his corner steal, this sort of little pressure ball coming behind you. Now his weak points, I would say, even though his pressure is good, this move, a lot of people have been noting that the animation is obvious. So even though it's really fast, a lot of the people are gonna, a lot of people at high level are gonna reflect this on reaction. So kind of leaves you susceptible to that sort of thing. He sort of has like weak frame data, not on like these moves, but like say this move is unsafe on block, this move is -10, this move's -1, but it brings the reflect issue that I called to earlier. So if they reflect that move, you're not going to be at a great advantage. This move is -3, but you also can't really cancel out of these hits even with special moves. So if they, let's say, preemptively super dash instead of reacting to it, then you're not going to be able to punish this because it's just going to be too slow. Like, as you can see, I'm inputting the 2H, but it's just not going to come out. And even if I do level 3, I think it's not... Yeah, even if I do level 3, the level 3 will not come out because you just can't cancel it fast enough. So I think that is going to be an issue for a lot of his pressure sometimes, because people who just guess right will be able to get out. A lot of his moves take a while to actually start canceling. Another issue I've seen Lord Knight bring up is that he has a lack of reversals. Now, reversals are important in this game. UI basically defined the top tier having a reversal. A lot of these really insane defensive options are really important in the game right now. And the only thing Super Baby seems to have is basically this, which costs 3 bars. And that's not like nothing. It's not like base Goku not even having a level 3, but it's definitely something to concern a couple of people. that want a character that has a bunch of defensive options, for example. So he's not going to be strong in that department. And also, a lot of people who have been trying him have been playing him on point, for example, because they want to take advantage of this good neutral, this good meter gain, and all that kind of stuff. But an issue I see with this is, like, for example, this being his main block mix-up with assists, this is actually, like, a pretty expensive block stun requirement, don't you think? Like, he will not get this mix-up for much less than Bardock B. The fact that he needs, like, high block stun to get his left-right mix-up, and it's left-right instead of high-low, which, I'll get to that in a second, means that he's not going to be getting really a lot of stuff with assists except for maybe combo extensions. And people who want to play in point, let's say use him as a battery, are not going to like that at all. Onto the high-low mix-up thing I was talking about. The reason having a high-low mix-up is important is because of Super Dash. So obviously, you know, people use Super Dash plus assist a lot, right? They Super Dash in and they get their high-low mix-up while they're doing a block string. Let's say you're watching a pro player play Bardock, for example. They do something like this, and now they have their high-low. And of course it's true that even point blank, this is technically a reactable thing. A lot of people will even just reflect it away. The reason having that is important is because Super Dash is not just a block string tool, obviously. Super Dash is also a neutral tool. So the thing that makes SD plus assist a really important thing to have access to is a lot of characters will be able to, for example, get something like this in neutral, or better yet, let me show it off in the corner. This is way easier to show off in the corner. So, like, I can Super Dash you from neutral, and now you have to take a mix-up. That's really, really strong. Baby not really having access to that, for example, is detrimental. Back onto the assists for mix-up kind of thing, even without the SD plus assist, he does have stuff like this that I was talking about. That means he's not, even though he's not going to be maybe top tier in those requirements, he does have, you know, something. He's not completely helpless. That's kind of the point I was trying to make. And another thing is his support seems like it's good enough that he doesn't really have to be a point character at all. In fact, one of the things I noted because of this high meter game, because of these good things that he can do by himself without any help from assists, is that maybe he could be really useful as a mid character or an anchor character, because his assists would seem strong enough that most of the time you're going to want to have access to them in the first place. His DHC level 1 is good for a lot of characters. It will grant, like Bardock, a safe jump on incoming if you use it. It seems like all these things that he can do by himself, especially because when someone wins the point war, for example, kills the first character, and Super Baby comes in, having access to those assists right from the get-go without having to kill a character with him, I think that'll really make him a stronger character, and it really seems to me that he's not going to be a point character. That's not going to be his best position. It seems like with all these things he can do, like these universal tricky mix-ups like this cross-up and the fake-out cross-up and these sort of pressure things I was mentioning, and all these things he could do by himself, like I keep saying, as well as this support that I mentioned, that a lot of characters really like these assists, and all that kind of stuff. He might just be a support character. He might just be like an anchor, a mid character. So anyway, so what do I think about Super Broly? The main, honestly, in all seriousness, the only critique I have of this character is he's too honest. He doesn't do enough absolutely broken things that warrants him being like top 10 or top 5 or something like that. But he's a good character. He seems very strong, probably high tier. Welcome addition to the game. He has really sick combos with Ki Blast links and all those kind of things, and I really like these added. Peace. Let me turn this off.